Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from Tawe. Okay, this is a long one. Here we go. 23, 52, 35, 32. Am I the beehole for letting my ego and emotions get the better of me during an interview? I'm a 22-year-old male, a recent grad currently looking for a job. Not gonna lie, it's been tough as crap. So in the meantime, I've been working in the trades for my uncle part-time. My mom offered to ask around work if there was any positions open for me. They offered me an interview for the same role as her. It's a basic data entry with some customer service related stuff. I prepared for the interview, probably more than I should have because it's where my mom was employed. Therefore, I wanted to make a really good impression. It was with her manager and team lead. My mom had some really nice things to say about her manager, saying she was really nice and how amazing it is to work with her. Not so much the team lead, who she said is a bit of a douchebag. It was through Zoom. I joined the call about 30 minutes early. To start, both of them joined 30 minutes after the time they said the interview would start, for which they did apologize for. No pleasantries or small talk at all. They just asked me the first question related to the role off the bat. And 30 seconds into speaking, my mom's manager looks at her phone and starts clicking away at it. Only the team lead was paying attention to me now, and it threw me off, but I kept talking. By the third question, I asked if everything was okay. She looked up for a split second, and the team lead told me not to focus on that, and to focus on the task at hand. For the third question, I wasn't even speaking before he cut me off. Then, he asked me to pretend like we were simulating a call, and he would be the client, and I would be the employee. I knew as soon as we started conversing that he was making this into some kind of pathetic joke for himself, when he pretended to be some absolute beehole, decrepit old man who didn't know how to work computers at all, asking me questions that were basically trying to set me up to fail, even though the people they are dealing with are competent corporate workers using companies' web applications. I said, word for word, you know what, guys? Obviously, I caught you at a bad time. You can't even give me the time to look away from your phone, and you obviously know that I would never deal with a client like this. I'm just going to hang up. This was by far the most pathetic interview I've been in, and I hope the next time you guys don't want to take an interview from a referral, you should just say so. I don't think I've ever gotten that angry before during an interview. I record all of my interviews, just for myself to learn and review. When my mom asked me how it went, I showed her, and I thought she'd take my side, but she got angry, saying that this is a place of her work, and I shouldn't have spoken to our boss that way, regardless of how bad the interview was. I need to let go of my ego and emotions and suck it up. WTF, I swear, I feel like that my response was warranted. But then again, she is right. She has to work there, and maybe I did F up her relationship with her boss. Am I the beehole? Hi OP, this one's kinda tricky for me because I can see where you're coming from and where your mom's coming from. She has to see these people and deal with these people every day, and she did kinda stick her neck out there for you. But I do think you handled it correctly because yeah, they were probably not going to hire you, and they were just wasting your time. And time is very precious, so that would piss me off too, having my time wasted by the Tweedledee and Tweedledum, you know? I don't really have too much to say about this one other than what I said just now because I don't really think there's a way to fix anything. I mean, I doubt they're going to take it, well, they might take it out on your mom, but it's not like you apologizing to them is going to do anything. And I don't think you should apologize. Like, they were rude to you and they disrespected you. That's fine if they don't want to hire you, but at least, take it seriously. You showed up, what, 30 minutes early and they disrespected you again by showing up 30 minutes late? Come on, man. Right there should tell you they're not taking you seriously and they weren't going to hire you. Yeah, this is a really tricky one. I have a little bit more to say because I was looking at the comments and most people are saying you're the beehole. Yeah, I could see that too. Sometimes you just gotta suck it up and just play the game and just wait it out the interview and just not care anymore after that. Yeah, you know what, I'll change it a little bit. Yeah, you're the beehole a little bit. I see people saying you have main character syndrome. I don't know about that because it doesn't seem like you're being a jerk. You just don't want your time wasted. Mm, yeah, all right, I'll change it to a little bit the beehole, a little bit. And our next one's from Capable Hawk 2174. Am I the beehole for refusing to help care for my former stepmother? My former stepmother, my late father's widow, is terminally ill. I have not seen her since his death 7 years ago. I keep minimal contact with my half siblings, 15 and 16, through her, but not closely either. My relationships with them are complicated. I do not care for the woman at all. My former stepmother's brother contacted me and told me she needs someone to take care of her now, and it should not fall on my half siblings and cannot fall on him, as he lives in another state. Her condition is terminal, and they believe she has less than a year left. I was told by her brother that I should take responsibility for helping care for her, given she was my stepmother for many years of my life. And she is the mother of 2 kids I should be willing to take in once she has passed. He told me refusing to care for their mother is going to permanently end my relationship with them. For those wondering about background, my mom and my former stepmother were very close friends, and before my mom's death, my former stepmother and father betrayed her by carrying out an affair. I overheard the fight when my mom found out the truth. Once my mom had passed, my former stepmother decided to create a huge scene at my mom's funeral, and insulted my mom's parents and insulted her sisters for saying my former stepmother had no place at the funeral. She tried to say, as my future stepmother and my mom's closest friend, she would always have a place. I called her names that day. She told me I'd regret it one day. That day has never come. But she did revel in telling me all my mom's flaws. After she and my dad married, I never saw Dad the same way either, but he refused to let the relationship go completely and did his best to maintain contact once I left his house. He died when I was 20. I told him I would not care for his sister, and I made it very clear to him that I was not going to make her end of life any easier than she made my mom's. My half-siblings called me and told me their mom was asking for me and they were scared and wanted me to be there at the end. They said she needs someone to help her and they can only do so much with school, that they hate leaving her alone. I told them I was sorry, and I knew what it was like to watch her mom slowly fade, but that I would not be the one to do it. My half-brother asked if I didn't love her at all this time. I said no. He told me to stay the hell away from them then as well. My father's sister heard about all that had happened, and she told me I should be more mature than that, and I should be more loving and compassionate to my half-siblings. She told me I should love them more than I hate their mom, and agreed to care for her to make their next year a lot less stressful. When I refused, she called me cruel and selfish person, and told me I was behaving like the very person I hated the most. Am I the beehole? OP, you are not the beehole. Cut everybody off. Cut everybody out. Screw them all. Screw them all. Your own family, what is that? Your aunt over here telling you you're cruel and all that? Which, did she not know what that woman did to you? How she disrespected you and your mother? Has she made your father a joke? And all of them trying to manipulate and gaslight you into caring for that ghoul? No, let her die in her piss. And I like how her goober of her brother is like, you have to take care of her. I can't take care of her. No, 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 no. You take your time off work, boy, and you get out there and you take care of your mother, that your whatever sister that you care for so much. Don't try to put this on someone that your mother, your sister, whatever the hell he is, hated so much. You know what I mean? OP, my advice to you: stick to your guns. Don't force yourself to go there for half a year and be miserable and taking care of this woman, because the way it sounds, the way she is, she's trying to use her death to manipulate you and get a nice little F you at the end, at you at the end. So say no, screw them all. And I like how he tempts you like, we're gonna cut off all communication with you if you don't obey and bow to our will. I would tell him, don't tempt me with a good time like that, because that's exactly what I'd want. He sounds like someone I wouldn't want to be involved with either. And you know what? It sucks those kids are young, but they're not young enough to not understand how to take care of someone. They're gonna have to learn. Their mom was a pile of crap. Sorry. After looking down the comments, I'm gonna have to agree with Cuppy Cakes. Lol. F 'em. And our next one comes from Throw RA Buggy. Am I the beehole for taking away my family's gifts because of something I overheard? Context: me, a 31-year-old male, and my long-term boyfriend, a 30-year-old male, bought a house together last June. I have a big family, with 8 cousins, and around 20 nieces and nephews, and I'm the oldest of my generation. I also have a pretty high-paying job, and so does my boyfriend. My boyfriend hasn't had any contact with his family for over a decade, and has been coming to my family celebrations since before we were dating. With my family, I'm known to be a bit of a splurger with gifts, and the kids are always excited for my gifts because they're usually big things like Lego sets and things of that sort. I know I'm not supposed to say stuff about the story until the end, but damn dude, you got Lego money? Nice. Now, with the story. So today, or yesterday I guess, my family held a pre-Christmas celebration since we'll not be able to meet up anytime this year after this week. It was held at me and my boyfriend's new house, the first family event we had here. My boyfriend really wanted to take part in the gift giving, so he went all out with the gifts, spending an average of $100 per person. He was so excited to give everyone their presents, since we spent not only money, but also a lot of time picking out everything for everyone. The festivities were a hit, and my boyfriend and I stepped away for a bit to have some quiet time together. While we were resting on the stairs, we overheard my cousin, a 17-year-old female, chatting with my niece, a 15-year-old female. They were joking around about a few family members and mentioned my boyfriend and how he was too gay to function. Honestly, we didn't mind it too much. It's a movie reference, and they're kids, but then another cousin, a 24-year-old male, came in and began making harsher jokes, which the kids laughed at. These jokes brought my boyfriend to tears, and I refused to let that slide. When the gift trading began, I took the three aside and let them know that I wasn't happy with their comments, and they weren't okay to say. I told them to apologize to my boyfriend, because it was unfair to him, and they refused because they were just jokes that weren't meant to be heard. I told them I didn't care, and they had to apologize. They refused again. And I told them that since they don't respect him, they don't deserve the presents we got for him. This got them to backtrack, and they said they'd apologize, but I told them it was too late. But they should still apologize. This is where I think I might have been too harsh. The youngest of my cousins told her mom, my aunt, that I was refusing to give her and the other two their presents, and she was angry about it. She told the parents of my niece and the male cousin's dad and partner about it, and all of them made a huge fuss. Me and my sister kicked them all out, and when they tried to grab their presents before leaving, I stopped them and rushed them out the door. The whole thing fell apart after that, and ended very abruptly. So, am I the beehole for kicking them out and taking away their gifts over jokes? Hi, OP. Now, I love jokes. With the time I grew up in, I love dark jokes and effed up jokes. Hell, we're friends with gay people, and we make gay jokes, and they love it. Of course, those dudes are cool, and they can take a joke. It's nice to find someone who could take a joke. But I digress. I'm gonna say no, you're not the beehole. Because if you had, immediately took the presents away and not given them a chance to apologize, then maybe I would have said you're slightly a beehole, because they are being very disrespectful to your boyfriend after you guys did a lot for them and bought them really nice presents, $100 each. But you gave them a pretty easy and simple way out of this. All they had to do was apologize and own up to what they did, and they'd have their presents, and the day would go on like normal, and you guys would have had a really nice holiday get together. But they refused, and, well, I've said it before, their actions have consequences, and their consequences were they didn't get those sweet gifts. And by the way you handled it, I doubt they're gonna forget, and I don't think they're ever gonna make that mistake again. So, no, you're not the beehole. I believe you handled it well. Our next one comes from Designer Detailed 86.5. Am I the beehole for calling my nephew a sad beige baby? I have two kids, a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old girl. My sister has a son who is 1.5 years old. She's a mommy blogger and embraces the white, beige aesthetic. This preference reflects in every room of her apartment, including seasonal decorations, and she's quite intense about it. I've never said anything to her about it, as it brings her joy. Some months ago, I stumbled upon a TikTok challenge where women adopts a fake German accent to review fashion for what she calls sad beige babies. I think it's really funny, and it's become a side joke at our home. During our recent visit to her apartment with my parents and husband, my nephew was seated on my lap. We were playing. I was wobbling around on my lap and pretended to eat his little arms. As I was talking gibberish, I unintentionally slipped in the sad beige baby persona. I genuinely did not anticipate it becoming an issue. However, when I mentioned sad beige baby, my sister became furious. She expressed frustration, stating she's tired of people critiquing her decorating preferences. When my brother tried to explain that it was meant as a joke and that she's too anal about her aesthetic, she angrily spilled red wine on the tablecloth, exclaiming, "Are you happy now?" She then asked us to leave since it has inundated me with direct messages on Instagram, sending me numerous mommy accounts sharing the same aesthetic. My mother believes I should apologize for unintentionally rude comment. I'm utterly taken back because, in truth, it wasn't even directed at my sister. My nephew happened to be wearing a beige sweater and it made an exaggerated sad face, which prompted laughter, thus calling me calling him a sad beige baby. OP, I'm gonna say you're not the beehole because, like you said, it was just making a joke. And for your sister, she obviously has some hangups about her decorations if she's acting this way. And she really overreacted spilling wine all over her stuff like that to, I guess, make a point. Um, I don't know what you have to apologize for, but I guess if that helps, apologize in this situation because this feels like a whole lot of nothing because this shouldn't have even been a problem in the first place. And our final one comes from President Concern 4789. Am I the beehole for telling my sister she's an idiot if she thought her actions at her wedding wouldn't have consequences? I'm on my phone. Quick backstory. My bio dad died when I was young and my mom remarried when my sister was 8 and I was 10. We are now in our late 20s. Stepdad focused a lot of his time on providing for us, so I never got close to him, but I'm grateful for him. I'm engaged and my sister is going to marry in about a month. My wedding will be in a year. Both of us are close to our mom though. My sister, who I will call Noelle, effed up in my opinion. At first, I was on her side, but now I just feel bad for stepdad. Noelle isn't going to have him walk her down and give her away. I understand this is her decision, and when that time came out, I helped my mom and dad understand that it was her choice. The turning point happened last week, when she told us that he will not be sitting at the family table. When asked her why, she made it clear he wasn't family to her. Again, she's right, but damn, he's the reason we had such a good childhood and are debt-free. He paid for college and worked a ton. I knew this would result in them not going to the wedding, and they informed my sister. She called me upset and was ranting about how it was her wedding and that she was abandoned. I had enough and told her she's an idiot if she didn't think her actions would have consequences. She called me a jerk and hung up. I'm unsure if I was a jerk, and I feel guilty since I'm closer to my parents, since I promised he can walk me down on my wedding. Hi, OP. I'm gonna say you're not the beehole. Your sister's a beehole, and a real see you next Tuesday, if you know what I mean. I mean, come on, yeah, he's not your bio dad, but that dude really put in work. He got you guys through college debt-free, and he worked his butt off. You can't have the guy walk you down the aisle? Come on. Yeah, I don't know what your sister's deal is. She sounds like a little goblin creature. Yeah, her actions have consequences. You told her, and I'm glad you told her and called her out on her BS. She doesn't seem to be taking it well, but, what did you expect? You insulted the man. Of course he's not going to turn up to the wedding like that. What? Come on. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.